Okay, a few people have been asking about some cheap ideas, so I thought, okay, do a video, put it on YouTube, and you can all have a look. Here's some wonderful black and white art. This was from Hope School in Wigan. I thought it was great because it's all homemade stuff, but you know, for a lot of people who are visually impaired, children, adults alike, sometimes the art that we do really needs to have bright, contrasting colours. So I thought this was absolutely wonderful. Just tactile art can be fantastic. Art that you can actually touch, three-dimensional art, can be brilliant. Here's a gorgeous room. I think this was a D-Bank school. This was absolutely lovely, and we'll see a little bit more of this one later on. Just lots of different materials used to create a marvellous portable sensory environment. Later in this we'll have a closer look at this. This is one of my favourite rooms in the country. It's from the Percy Headley Adult Centre up in Newcastle, Forest Hall. It's absolutely gorgeous. They said to me they didn't have a lot of money, so they had to make it themselves, and I'll show you some bigger pictures of that later on, because bubble tube, projector, fibre optics, a couple of bits, and they just made something that looks absolutely stunning. It's fantastic. These were some sensory booths that were done some years ago. I think the gentleman's name was Joe Acapello, down in London. And these were really fantastic for just getting a child inside and focusing on one particular activity. Obviously there's a lot of electrics in there, and for some people it won't be suitable, but for some I thought these were just great, fantastic sensory environments. Here's some wonderful boxes working on the ideas from Lily Nielsen a long time ago, getting the stimulus within the communication zone of the child or the adult. Just a lovely little water effect put in the middle of this survival blanket, just put into the box. And these are about, they're about 1.5 feet tall. They're pretty small things, they're really nice. Of course they don't all have to be reflective like that. Sometimes a black one may be a lot better if we're really trying to focus the visual skills and develop, say, the skill of fixation. If you don't want to make one yourself, then nip down to IKEA and get one of these canopies. These are quite nice actually, because you can project onto them, you can put fibre optics over the top of them, all sorts of things. If you're on a tight budget, how about this? Under £5 in the UK from IKEA, so these are going to be pretty cheap worldwide. Just a lovely white igloo. Now, the fact that it's white means that we can shine torches on the outside of it, we can project into them with either solar 250s or data projectors. It'll be brilliant. Don't forget laundry baskets. You can make some really, really nice laundry baskets, and I use them on courses. Just get a cardboard box. Here's some cardboard boxes with lots of stimulus put inside there. Again, not suitable for everybody, but for a lot of people these will be absolutely ideal. And of course you might want to theme them, or you might want to look at a particular sense modality. This is a company called Safe Spaces who do small little multi-sensory environments. They're quite nice, and if you want to spend some money, Sensory Plus will be very happy to sell you their sensory in a suitcase. It comes with all sorts of gadgets. A little bit more expensive than collecting them all yourselves, but in the end they've saved you lots and lots of trips to the shops and trips to IKEA, so they're not that bad. Ultraviolet light is wonderful. UV can make things glow up to about 40 times brighter depending on the size you use, but have a look at the safety papers on ultraviolet in our course notes. This kind of UV, black light is what it's called, is really safe, and in a couple of weeks I'll be showing you some amazing new UV lights that have come out. So, ultraviolet light works with anything that's white or anything that's fluorescent. It'll make it really, really glow. But don't forget, if it's brightly coloured, try it, because not everything that is brightly coloured really, really does fluoresce. You can get fluorescent marker pens. You can get, I have some stuff on the course I should have put into this video called jelly yarn, and that glows under UV very well. These carpets, these are really tacky, but they're fantastic. Put these under an ultraviolet light and they glow. They're available from lots of different sensory companies, Mike Ayres, Sensory Plus, all those guys will get you those. Don't forget fluorescent gloves. White mittens on babies will be really, really nice. Or as you can see here, some big furry gloves just to get your hand-eye coordination going. Get your body awareness going. If you're working with youngsters, yeah. If you're doing myself, ideas like this are absolutely wonderful. Here's a sticky rugby ball. Or this could be a football if you're in America. And you see it just sticks to the gloves and it's ultraviolet. Fantastic fun. UV paints, make sure you get the right stuff. But ultraviolet paints are really great for just painting onto black paper and making some incredible visual art. So if you're looking at making numeracy or literacy or any of those subjects, use ultraviolet. That'll be really nice. Here's some stick-on letters. These are velcroed just onto a piece of carpet. This one was done by Mike Ayres, and that's really, really nice. You can make up names, you can do all sorts of literacy and numeracy with that. Here's a great idea, bubble wrap art. It makes your art really, really tactile. Makes it very, very touchy-feely. Talking about touchy-feely, parachutes are fantastic. Nice picture from Sensory Plus there. Oh, this photograph was taken at Ilfracombe Infant School, and this is really nice. Just pieces of dyed material tied onto a hoop and just put on the wall as a piece of art. Also a great object of reference if anybody is using a lot of tactile communication. As we can see here in this next picture, you can just take that a little bit further. And what we've done here is just some netting and tied material into the netting, and then it acts as a really nice markers in the corridor for different places and different things to let you know you've arrived. So try all sorts of different materials, make all sorts of different things. This one is the ice corner, again back at Hope School in Wigan, really, really nice. A beautiful effect, but also great for all children, or for that matter, they're adults as well. Why not? It's beautiful. Looking on the smaller end of things, these are really nice for people like me who need to fiddle, who need to move all the time. They're Twiddle Sticks. You can get those from Flo Longhorn. She sells them. Or of course, I'm sure Flo would say if you can, make them yourself. They're really, really nice, just for twiddling and just for getting hold of. There's a little idea just in the middle there. Piece of net that wraps around your hands so you don't drop things. And if you have to qualify twiddles to Ofsted and people like that, there you go. There's some numeracy twiddles. So we're actually doing mathematics with those, which is wonderful fun. So whether it's big nets or little socks, make sure they're bright, make sure they're colour contrasting, and most of all, make sure they're fun. I thought this was a brilliant idea. Make yourself a story in an apron. How wonderful is that? Mirrors are always great fun. I found a wonderful website called sendmeamirror.com. They're based here in the UK, but there's got to be lots of companies like this. Also, take a look in IKEA, because occasionally they do have some quite funky mirrors, but obviously try to avoid glass. Make sure you get a good soft plastic. Mood panels are really nice, quite expensive. These are made by a company called Mathmos, who also make these balls, and most of the sensory companies sell these. Sensory Plus certainly do, and I find they're really, really nice. But also, have a look at the glowing balls that we've got here at Hirstwood Training. They're great as well.